Hey guys, this was a beautiful autumn day in central Japan, and the humans were having just an autumn event. No particular reason for it, just a random autumn event in the park. So it started with this lady speaking for over 30 minutes about what it was like to keep rabbits, and that if you wanted to keep rabbits, things that you needed to know. Right? There are a few people at the front there that were interested. The PA system, as always, the PA system was super loud, so you could hear her wherever you were. So that was good. That was good information for people who wanted to know how to keep rabbits. So the plan was just to make a video just showing you what happened during the day. However, the place sort of got taken over with Fifis. A huge gang of Fifis turned up with their slaves, so slaves carrying the Fifis, and there's actually a tent over here in amongst all the other food stalls and things where they were doing massages for Fifis, as well as nail clipping and all sorts of other, sort of like a salon. It was like a salon and a massage place for Fifis. So of course it's autumn, so the Fifis are in their autumn fashion, wearing sundry little outfits, Fifi outfits, Fifi autumn outfits of various descriptions. This is a group of old local guys from the old guys community group standing over here, a little bit taken aback by the number of Fifis that had turned up in the gang, possibly a little bit intimidated, the old guys, having not seen so many Fifis in one place before. So they sort of retreated to the car park, spent their time over there directing traffic, telling people where they couldn't park. There was also some dogs too. There were a couple of dogs, but the dogs seemed a bit intimidated too by the number of Fifis. So you could see they're looking pretty nervous. Obviously wanted to go home. It was all a little bit too much. And these guys just didn't know what to do. They didn't know whether they should be hanging out with the Fifis or with the dogs. So this one must have been some sort of royalty, travelling in an open carriage. Hello, hello, hello. So some sort of royalty Fifi in an open carriage there. So you can see we fully expected a day of human activities, but you can see it got pretty well, we got pretty well overwhelmed by this huge gang of fluffiness. So this is just a small portion too of the number of Fifis that were there. It was actually a lot more than this. That Fifi there was not happy. There was something going on there, some sort of emotional drama with some other Fifis. So that Fifi left. You got one Fifi being carried there by the slave, and the other one's choosing to walk at this moment. Probably shortly after will be carried, but wanted to have a little walk in the park, which is fair enough, isn't it? Most of them preferred to be carried though. They don't want to be walking, getting their paws dirty. So oh yeah, that was a bit of a drama there. This Fifi and this dog sort of had a bit of a thing going on there. Dog wasn't happy at all. Just a little bit too much Fifi for him. This guy too. They weren't happy, the dogs. You could feel the tension in the air between the dogs and the Fifis. The dogs obviously weren't expecting it. Nobody was. Nobody was. We weren't either. We were quite overwhelmed as well, so we understand how they felt. Everywhere you looked. Oh, there was also 3 cows playing ukulele, by the way. We can't do the audio, unfortunately, because they're a cover band, the 3 cow cover band, and so if we play their music on YouTube, we'll get in trouble for copyright. But you know, the usual 3 cows playing ukulele, you know, the sort of music they play. Nothing new there. So it was a beautiful day, beautiful blue sky. It was about 23 degrees or 22 degrees. Bit of a wind, but it was alright. It was a beautiful day. Autumn weather in central Japan's wonderful. So just a little bit intimidating with the Fifis. It was a bit hard to sort of do anything or go anywhere because the big gangs of them roaming around, intimidating people with their fuzziness. And of course the three cows playing ukulele was good. So there's some old guy sitting up on the hill here under a tree, obviously hiding from the Fifis, hey? Bit of a coward. Ha ha ha. So, oh yeah, this Fifi escaped. That was pretty funny. Have a look at the prancing. That's a Fifi at full speed there. So we actually watched the slave there chase the Fifi all the way across the park saying, please let me carry you, please. And the Fifi says, oh, okay, you can carry me then. So the slave was quite concerned the Fifi was wearing out her little legs. So you're getting the idea. We're showing you about a tenth of the Fifis that are actually there. Oh yeah, the Carriage is very popular. Sort of the Cinderella style. I actually had a human in it, that one. That was sort of an accident. These guys are in that, they were confused. They didn't know if they were Fifis or dogs. They didn't know what they were. So they went home, those two. And the cows kept playing ukulele. So of course there was lots of sniffing of rear ends going on. The Fifis were doing that. And lots of very high-pitched neurotic barking. There was a lot of that going on as well. Sort of a background soundtrack of high-pitched barking and back-end sniffing was pretty much the theme of the day. And the cows playing ukulele, of course. Trying to compete with the high-pitched barking wasn't easy. So yeah, that poor old white dog there, he was stressed out. Where did all these Fifis come from? So there must be some notice board on the internet or something where these Fifis had arranged to come and invade, take over this event, because they all were there with their sniffing and their high-pitched barking. This poor guy, look at the stress. You see the stress on this guy's face. You know, imagine being a dog and finding yourself surrounded by Fifis like that with their high-pitched barking, poor guy. They didn't stay, none of the dogs stayed for long. They all turned up and went, what the heck? And they all took off again. The cows weren't scared though, they just kept playing. Ukulele cows, you know what they're like. Fairly hardy. Not like this coward up on the hill hiding under the tree. Ha ha ha. Obviously he thought the Fifis couldn't climb the hill, nor could their slaves. And apparently he was right, because we didn't see any Fifis up there under that tree at all. The baby cart, it's hard, you know, those carriages, to get the carriages up a steep hill like that, of course. Oh, this is a Mamachi brass band. Was actually pretty good. And again, they play covers, so we can't use their music or YouTube will punish us severely. But they were good, the Mamachi brass band. So yeah, this was interesting. This Fifi over here actually had a Poo Slave. So this Fifi was wandering around the park just dropping poos all over the place. And while they were still warm and soft, the Poo Slave was picking them up, putting them in a bag and collecting them. That's quite amazing, isn't it? Makes you wonder what they do with them later. What do they do? What do they do with that poo? So anyway, after watching that, of course, that inspired us to eat something, you know. It's like, oh, that's good for the appetite. So they had a really good hamburger stand. They had Mexican. They had Japanese noodles, udon noodles, and ramen, and of course bubble tea. That's a rule. You can't have an event like this without bubble tea. So tea with tapioca in it. So in this case, we went with the nachos, which was a good choice. Over at the Salon, there was lots of massaging and preening and other thing from the slaves over there. You see 3 slaves working on one Fifi there. It's pretty indulgent, isn't it? And the Mamachi group now are playing Mickey Mouse. And of course the Japanese version of Mickey Mouse goes along the lines of Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey, Mickey, Mickey Mouse. So they've changed the lyrics somewhat. And again, can't play it because we'll get in trouble for copyright. But it was a pretty good rendition of Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey, Mickey, Mickey Mouse. It wasn't bad. Those of you who lived in Japan and heard that version will know what I'm talking about. The Western English version is a little bit too complex, so The simpler version is just the Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey, Mickey, Mickey Mouse. You get the idea. Hope we haven't infringed copyright with that. The Japanese version of the copyright. So it's pretty good. Got the crowd in. Crowd were going off pretty heavily. Trying to ignore the gang of Fifis lurking around behind them. Pretend like everything was normal. Trying not to be intimidated. So yeah, this one here being carried in the little harness there at the front by the slave, while another one was being carried in the front under the carriage. And this one actually had two levels. There was a lower carriage and an upper carriage, so there was two Fifis travelling in comfort there. And this one was a double for two Fifis travelling together. So again, another version of that, one being carried, one in the cart. So fairly devoted slaves, aren't they? They obviously go to a lot of trouble to look after their small fuzzy masters. So yeah, Mamachi band was good, and they packed up. Always fun watching things getting packed up in Japan. It happens really quickly. They decide it's over. Well, time was up. Time was up. So it was over. So everything just got put away really quickly and disappeared. Super efficient, as always. I think people might have been pretty keen to get away. They were a little bit intimidated by the gang of Fifis, I think. Eventually, all the humans left and just the Fifis remained in the park. So they sort of won, really. They intimidated the humans to the point where the humans just gave up and went home, and the Fifis took over the park. And that's probably it now. Probably 20 years from now, we'll go past that park and humans won't be game to go there anymore for fear of being intimidated by small barking furry guys. But it was a good day. It was a good day. It wasn't what we were expecting. We were expecting sort of a human sort of experience, but it was interesting. And from the safety of the hill, this old man survived unharmed by any Fifis. Anyway, hope someone enjoyed that. More videos coming soon.